What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward. Talk about big news coming out for Tesla. It isn't so great, just part of why the share price is a little lackluster right now. So I'm going to break down a big test that's coming to Tesla, and also what you should be watching for. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. Not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer ends in just 2 weeks, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with Tesla. Looking at Tesla moving forward, I just want to say that Tesla has this tough resistance at this 230 area. We are going to gap down most likely, but the question is, can we try to break past 230 or not? And this is going to be heavily dictated by some news and also what we end up seeing from the markets. So the first thing I just want to talk about is the fact that we had some positive headlines. EV registrations surged 18% in July, being boosted by the Tesla Cybertruck and these new models. That's a decent piece of news right over here, especially as we saw over 5,000 Cybertrucks delivered once again as it was launched. And then also we saw EV pickups getting over 5,000 units sold during the same period. So that's a good piece of news. But this is still based off old data. And what's making and kind of like affecting Tesla is this headline right over here about how analysts are adjusting their estimates on the number of Q3 deliveries for Tesla, which they're going to be disclosing on October 2nd. And on top of this, many analysts are cutting their estimates. They're saying that they used to estimate 480,000 vehicles. Now they're saying 469,000 is what we're going to likely see for Q3. Guggenheim is also cutting estimates to about 456,000. That's also important. Whereas for others out there, we saw different views relative to a year ago. Other companies out there still have strong buy companies for Tesla, but the expectations for the Q3 deliveries report isn't as strong as what we saw from before. So that's part of why investors are. This is part of why Tesla's kind of like underperforming just a little bit this morning. We got this new big piece of news, so that's very, very important for us. There's more news and data coming out at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time today, and today is Friday the 13th. By the way, for September, I just want to say that at 10 a.m. we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, the 5-year inflationary expectations, and more data coming out 30 minutes after the market ends up opening. So this data may cause some volatility. So look for some what of a nice move around 10 o'clock a.m. 30 minutes after market open. And then besides that, the market's now balanced between a 50 and 25 basis point cut by the Fed. So far, this has been going up a little bit, and this has been going down as the market's becoming more optimistic after CPI came out. For SPY, do not forget we have a 3.59 puts to call ratio, over 1.1 million puts and 300,000 calls expiring, so not bad. And we'll see how things end up going. Besides that, I didn't see anything else that was too crazy. We did see Adobe report its earnings. We ended up seeing the share price drop quite a bit. That's pretty much it, though. I didn't see anything else that was too huge on the news. So now let's talk about what's happening with Tesla. So we're basically looking at this resistance in this 230 area. We'll see if Tesla could break this or not. Yesterday, this ended up, holding us down, and then the support to watch for it is at 228. If that doesn't hold, we could be tipping back down to 225, followed by the 222 area and 220. So watch those supports. If we can break 230 and hold above it, we could try to go up to 235, but that's also another tough resistance. This morning, Tesla has some weakness because of the negative headlines that came out about how their Q3 estimates for deliveries are not as strong as what some analysts initially expected. So that's part of why Tesla's showing a little weakness here. So we'll see if we can try to break 230 or not. That's going to be a big test once the data comes out at 10 o'clock a.m. And if we can't, if we remain lackluster, we could be looking for a dip back down. So I want to give you guys a heads up about that. Please be prepared as we had some negative headlines. As far as SPY goes, we're fighting for this 560 area. This is what we were talking about yesterday. If we lose 560, we're looking for a dip back down to 558. And if that fails, we have 555 and 553 as supports. If 560 breaks, however, we're forming a very, very nice looking like handle compared to this like cup. So this is like a giant cup, and this is like a handle that's forming. So if we hold up at 560, we're looking for 562 as the next potential targets. Well, we actually have 561, which is our imbalance, and we have 562.5. If that breaks, I presume we're going to be going up to the all-time high, very close to it. So I'll be watching those resistance levels. We'll see how SPY holds up. So far, we're showing some strength, so it is still bullish looking. It could attempt to push even higher as we hold above 560. So as long as that holds, we're looking for 562 to 562.5. Once we break that imbalance, excuse me, that imbalance, and then if that breaks, we're going towards all-time highs. We'll see how well SPY holds up, especially once we get the data at 10 o'clock a.m. So watch and see. For Nvidia, we're starting to dip a little bit. I was saying that Nvidia might dip a bit in my video yesterday to about 118. If that doesn't hold, we could go all the way down to like the 115s before we try to bounce back up and continue higher. So watch and see. This could be from like a cup-like structure. So watch 118 and 115. Look at 120's resistance followed by this 122 area. So we'll see how things end up going. For ES, we also are looking a little bit more bullish. We are holding this support. So we had this low here. We came up, made a higher low, and we're continuing to push. Look at the support around the 5600 area, followed by 5580. If we continue to push, we're looking for 5630 as our next resistance. So I wouldn't be surprised if ES kind of like tips a little bit and then it tries to push higher. As long as we hold above 5600, we're looking for 5630 and targets like that. So we'll see if we hold above 5600 after the data comes out. So far, so good. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin is just consolidating right over here. If we break 59,000, we're bullish. If we lose 57,000, we're bearish. Otherwise, we're just stuck going back and forth and back and forth. For other factors out there, we also have NQ. So NQ has this resistance around this 19,500 area. And if that rejects, we're looking for basically 19,250 as our support. But this still looks more bullish, especially if we break this resistance. This does have more potential. We'll see if it breaks or not. For the QQQ, we're also trying to push higher. We have a nice kind of like inverse head and shoulders like structure. If we try to hold above 473, we're looking for a target of about 475. And if we end up losing support here, we could be dipping back down towards 470. So we look more bullish. There is potential in this. If we could try to hold above 473, it is a tough area. We'll see what the reactions if we get a little dip first before we try to continue to go higher. But watch 473 as resistance. We'll see if we hold this or not. If it does hold, 475 is coming. If not, 470 could be retested. So just be careful with this. We do have data coming out at 10 o'clock a.m. So we'll see if we hold. Apple's also looking a little bit more bullish. If we could try to hold above 224, we're looking for a push for 226. And if we lose 222, we're looking for a dip back down towards 219. But this looks a little bit more bullish. It has a little bit more potential, so give this the time it needs. For the IWM Russell 2000, we look a little bit more bullish. We've broken past the 212 area, so we're looking for 214. That's my target from yesterday I called out. And then break that, our next target is going to be all the way up here towards the 216. So we look more bullish, doing a great job at holding up. There's going to be some tough resistance at 214, but this looks like it does have potential. If we were to lose 212, we'd be dipping, but this still looks bullish. For Coinbase, we are doing a good job at holding up. We're looking at the 162s as our resistance zone. If that breaks, we're looking for basically 166. If we end up losing 160, we turn back down to like the mid 150s, but this still looks more bullish. Amazon is looking pretty decent. We went up to 188 so far. It came coming a little short of 190, and has potential to go all the way up to like 190. But look at 188 as a tough resistance. Our support to watch for is at 186, not to mention 184. So it's possibly down towards like 186 before we try to balance and push higher. But overall, I would say that Amazon's doing a good job at holding up. It has upside potential in terms of this uptrend. I think it might dip a little bit upon our open, but then watch and see if we can, as long as we hold a 184, we could try to rebound. Okay. So it's doing a good job. Meta pumped all the way up to about 530 almost, only to dump back down. So if we don't reclaim 520, we could be dipping down to 514, and we'll see if we bounce off that or not. But there might be a dip coming to Meta as we have some bad news that came out. Microsoft is looking more bullish, trying to hold up. We'll see 425 is support, and then the higher 430 is like very close to 430 is resistance. I think it might shuffle for a bit within this range, but there is still upside potential if we could try to hold 425. If not, we could be dipping closer to 420 again. Exactly as predicted, Google did end up reaching the 157 area. I called that out yesterday. So it's a tough resistance. If we break this, we go up to 160. If we don't break this, we could be dipping back down to 155. So we will see. This is a tough resistance. We could dip and then bounce and try to break out from here. So we'll see how it goes. With that being said, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys so much for listening. Please have a great day and just know that these are going to be some very, very key levels. As far as Tesla goes, Tesla is a little bit weak compared to the market. We're kind of in the red right now, but I think there's going to be an attempt to try to get up to 230. We'll see if Tesla could break this or not. We might start off gapping down in the morning. once we open, and then we'll see how we end up reacting to the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report at 10 a.m. We may attempt to get closer to 230, but we'll see if we can break that or not. I do want to warn you, Tesla's a little lackluster because of the negative news. So give it the time it needs. We're still range bound this pre-market session. We'll see which way we break. With that being said, I appreciate you guys for listening. I'll see you guys very soon in another update video in just a couple of hours. Until then, watch the range on Tesla and we'll see which way we break once we get our data. Thank you for listening and peace out.